All right, so Jake Paul versus Mike Perry goes down this weekend. I said a while ago, Jake Paul had made a big mistake taking on Mike Perry. I say that he has made a big mistake here. As the fight's getting closer, I'm starting to worry a little bit for Mike Perry, right? I'm starting to worry that Jake Paul's going to win, right? He's going to win, maybe, and I hope not. And I don't mind saying that. I've got nothing against Jake Paul. I really don't, right? I really don't, but he's a bit annoying. Anyway, they went face-to-face today. They talked a bit of shit. Mike Perry said he's going to reach through his eyeball and find some memories. I'm like, whoa. Can we just leave the eyeballs out of this, please? Not the eyeball. He said, your little baby green punches can't even reach my brainstem, bro.
I'm going to dig through your eyeball and find your memories.
Please don't do that.
Now, they both went back and forth. They both insulted each other because that's the way it goes. To be honest, for the most part, it was all kind of, cordial. It was very, very silly. It was like kind of childish at times. In fact, let's take a look at this because at one point it just turned into a whole, Hulk Hogan competition. Let's have a listen here.
Oh, brother, let me tell you what they're gonna see. Let me tell you what they're gonna see, Michael Perry. You listen to me, brother. You're going down.
This is a little bit cringe.
When I get my hands on you Saturday night, I'm gonna eat you in one bite.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
I mean, somewhere, Muhammad Ali is rolling in his grave. He was the first guy to start rhyming, promoting fights. If he ever thought that one day these two would be doing this, in way less poetic fashion, mind you, yeah, he's rolling in the grave. R.I.P.
Turn, Michael Perry.
He's rhyming, but you ain't got the timing.
You ain't scary, Michael Perry. All you are.
And look at the dude in the middle as well. He's like, what is going on? To be fair, what else can he do but sit there and grin at this? It's a little bit silly.
All you got is greed. And
you don't want this? I'm gonna take a piss all on your grave. You ain't brave.
Wow.
Listen to me, brother. I'll show you who's the American badass. Thought it was your brothers, the USA champion. Oh yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that's enough of that. But first of all, if you want to buy the pay-per-view, which goes down this weekend, July 20th, live on DAZN, Mike Perry taking on Jake Paul. Well, guess what? All you got to do, there's a link down there in the description box, DAZN.com/Bisping. That is correct. You click that link, you will instantly be able to buy the pay-per-view. Anyway, let's talk about this. Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. So, Mike Perry, as we know, had a run in the UFC. He said earlier this week in this exact face-off that he was learning on the job.
They passed prime. They were older. I'm just now reaching prime. I'm just now getting to where I've been doing my best. I learned through the UFC, which was a tough place to learn.
And he kind of was. He wasn't the best grappler. But the man is a fighter. He left the UFC, signed up for bareknuckle, and he's become an absolute superstar. He's only 5-0. His last 3 were via knockout in the first and the second round. Against good competition, people like Luke Rockhold, where he knocked out the teeth and forced Luke Rockhold into retirement. Now, bareknuckle is very different from actual boxing. Of course, you're using your hands to try and render your opponent defenseless, knock them out, whatever the case may be. Punches to the face, punches to the head. But the difference is the gloves. Now, that sounds like an obvious statement, but of course, it's the gloves. Bareknuckle, there is no gloves, right? So when you land with the shots, you cut them open. And it's also way harder to defend. When you've got those gigantic boxing gloves on, and they are gigantic compared to no gloves, they're still savage, they're still going to do a lot of damage. And more people die in boxing than in mixed martial arts. No one's ever died in the history of the UFC. Thank God, right? But when you've got those big gloves on, you can still do a lot of damage. But they are big, big things. So you can see them coming. You can defend against them. You can parry the shots. You can certainly block and cover up much bigger, okay? The smaller gloves, and I know this from when I used to spar, when we put the big gloves on, it was easy. When you put the smaller MMA gloves on, you can find openings. It's harder to defend. You do this, you can still get the nose. You can still come around the side. You can still find the jaw, whatever the case may be. But then you put no gloves on, that gets even easier. And that's where Mike Perry excels here. He's going to go forward. He's going to push the pace. I think he's going to be in better shape. He was even saying, look at the state of you, Jake. You're looking kind of flubbery.
He does look flubbery.
That's because the fight's happening at cruiserweight, which again, Jake Paul has kind of gamed the system, so he has the advantage because he is the bigger guy. Mike Perry doesn't seem concerned about the punching power.
I've been doing this shit a long time. Your little baby green punches can't even fucking reach my brainstem, bro.
That's an underestimation there. Jake Paul, he does hit hard. That knockout that he had over Tyron Woodley, that was a vicious knockout. Not often we see Tyron Woodley absolutely flatlined, face down like that, okay? Yeah, he went on a losing streak in the UFC when he lost his belt. So what? The man was a legend. He defended the belt many times. He never got knocked out like that. So Jake Paul has power, and Mike Perry needs to respect him. And Jake Paul, 9-1 in boxing, the one loss to Tommy Fury, millions of dollars in the bank, very successful guy outside of boxing, doesn't need to do this, and for that, I do respect him. Look, listen, he does this because he wants to be a badass and he wants all the glory of being a fighter. But of course, he also enjoys it. So I have respect for anyone that's man enough to step foot in a ring or an octagon, man or woman, pardon me. I do. I have respect, okay? But he's gamed the system a little bit. He's the bigger guy. But he's probably, on paper, the better boxing. It's called the sweet science for a reason. It is an extremely technical sport. And Jake Paul has brought in some of the best trainers money can buy. He's training down in Puerto Rico. And you can actually see the evolution. Every time he fights, there is little improvements. Last time out against Ryan Borland, yeah, of course, it was a first-round knockout. But they were massive looping shots. He was swinging. So Mike Perry's going to have to get on the inside, use little tight, nice shots, which is what he's good at. He's fast, he's aggressive, he'll be fitter, he'll push a pace, he'll be more aggressive. But I do think on paper, he's probably not as skilled a boxer, okay? And that's with nothing but love and respect for Mike Perry. I'm a huge fan of Platinum Mike Perry. I speak to him kind of regularly. As I say, nothing but respect. It's just because of the different sports. And Jake Paul's trying to perfect the craft. Now, he's looking at this as a tune-up fight before he goes up against Mike Tyson. You all know my thoughts on that. That's absolutely ridiculous. But he is being active. He beat Ryan Borland and Andre August.
Who the fuck is that guy?
All right, who were they? Doesn't matter. Beat them both in the first round. Before that, he went 10 rounds with Nate Diaz. And the Nate Diaz that showed up was sloppy. The Nate Diaz that showed up was a little sloppy. He was kind of out of shape. He looked like he didn't take it seriously. And he still went 10 rounds. If Nate Diaz went 10 rounds, who is, to be fair, one of the toughest guys, the man can take a beating. He has a legendary chin, right? But he did get dropped. If he can go the distance, I probably expect Mike Perry to go the distance. Look at the way he beat Michael Venom Page, Luke Rockhold. These are not easy people to beat, but he had the perfect style for them. And as I say, when you strip away the gloves, it changes everything. It's a different sport. It's a different animal. And that's what Mike Perry is. I think he has some natural advantages in this one, but he also has some things going up against him. But anyway, I've been talking for a while now. The reality is it's going to be a great fight. Mike Perry always shows up. And Jake Paul getting knocked out potentially against Mike Perry, that would be a great thing. But as I say, maybe I'm just nervous for Mike Perry because I have so much respect for him. Either way, it's going to be a tremendous fight. What do you think about it? Who's the better boxer? I think Jake Paul's the better boxer. Mike Perry's the better fighter. But the addition of gloves, where Mike Perry's had no gloves, that changes everything. It makes it a different sport. But still, who do you think wins this fight? Let me know in the comment section down there. And as I said, click the link, DAZN.com/Bisping if you want to buy the pay-per-view.